California put this on their books a while back. Physicians and surgeons' unprofessional conduct. This bill would designate the dissemination of misinformation or disinformation related to SARS-CoV-2 as unprofessional conduct. We should note that the fact that the Earth is round was once considered misinformation. Today's misinformation is often tomorrow's fact, so we should be a bit wary of the gay abandon with which we bandy around the mis and the dis words. But misinformation, disinformation, I think we all know which way this one's going. The spread of misinformation and disinformation about COVID-19 vaccines has weakened public confidence and placed lives at serious risk. Can they think of nothing else? However, the next one is worthy of not laughing off the face of the planet. Major news outlets have reported that some of the most valuable propagators of accurate information regarding the COVID-19 vaccines are licensed healthcare professionals. This seems obviously logical. Whatever you might think about a given medical situation, the people who are most likely to be right about it are going to be the practitioners of it who operate in some kind of a qualified manner. It's a logical and a fair statement. So it should not come as too great a surprise to learn that this is not what it actually says. It does not say that. I have replaced the original words with these words. If I remove my words and put back the document as it actually is, we get this. Major news outlets have reported that some of the most dangerous propagators of inaccurate information regarding the COVID-19 vaccines are licensed healthcare professionals. In what reality is it conceivable that the most qualified are giving the worst advice? Should not the qualified and those who are unconnected to the pharmaceutical industry, because that's the medical professionals we're talking about here, not the Faucis and the Valences and the Witties, that they would give the best advice? This statement is demented, it is detached from reality. The point is not to rant about demented Californian laws, but to say that statements demonstrably detached from reality are clear evidence that something is wrong. Like telling healthy people to quarantine and wear face masks, otherwise they risk killing everyone, or that it's a good idea to take experimental drugs when there are healthy alternatives available. Statements like this tell you something, somewhere, whatever it might be, is wrong. And this law, to prevent doctors from contradicting Pfizer, because that's what it comes down to, has been struck down. In the definitions, disinformation means misinformation that the licensee deliberately disseminated with malicious intent or intent to mislead, and misinformation means false information that is contradicted by contemporary scientific consensus contrary to the standard of care. Not even absolute groupthink consensus, contemporary consensus only. Today's consensus, not considering the possibility that tomorrow's consensus might be different. And these are healthcare professionals defying contemporary scientific consensus in their department. And the Californian judge was not happy about this. He said that the terms misinformation and contemporary scientific consensus were unconstitutionally vague, making it impossible for a reasonable person to know what the law prohibited. California tried to pass a law penalizing action it was not possible to define. How desperate do you have to be to shut up qualified people if you claim that some of the most dangerous propagators of inaccurate information are licensed healthcare professionals? And licensed healthcare professionals are also voting with their feet and not just with their mouths. This from Dublin Live. Health and Safety Executive worried over slow uptake of COVID-19 boosters in Ireland. The rollout of the second booster dose was accelerated at the end of 2022, but doctors are concerned at the low levels of uptake, particularly amongst healthcare professionals. The health service has urged people to get their second COVID-19 booster dose as the vaccination programme dwindles nationwide. The uptake of the second booster amongst all age groups stands at 31%, while only a quarter of healthcare workers have received their additional vaccine. That may not be quite as extraordinary as it sounds. Uptake 31% in the general population, which includes older people who are more at risk, compared to a lower percentage, 25%, of healthcare workers, but they're typically going to be much younger, so less at risk, so less likely to get vaccinated anyway. But still, a lower percentage of the better informed people are not getting it, and that amounts to just 25%, just one healthcare professional in 4 in Ireland. So, rewind. Major news outlets have reported that some of the most dangerous propagators of inaccurate information regarding the COVID-19 vaccines are licensed healthcare professionals. But, as it turns out, they're not only talking apparent misinformation, they're also voting with their feet. This is the head of the vaccine programme. She maintained that the level of uptake amongst healthcare workers was concerning, saying that a lot of work was needed to encourage people to come forward for boosters. If it's currently only 25%, then forget it, it's not happening. And also on the subject of rebellious healthcare professionals, ex-BBC journalist Jules Sirkin came across a doctor whose mouth had been well and truly zipped.
Well, it was a lady, actually. It was a female doctor, and she was lovely. She came to sit next to me after I'd been lying around in A&E for a while. And then I was telling her about the vaccine damage, and I said, you must be seeing it now, because I could see the difference as soon as I came in. It was the D-dimer, the heart, the blood, you know. Lots of nurses, not too many doctors, sadly. And she said, yeah, but she said, zip mouth.
Your doctor implied that there was something going on, but they'd been told to zip it.
That's a doctor, not a nurse or a care worker or somebody lower down the hierarchy. Then we start climbing the seniority pyramid.
It's actually the second time that's happened to me, because when I was at Moorfields with the AstraZeneca eye damage last year, which was about, I lose track, August, the consultant I saw there told me her own mother went blind from the 2 Pfizers. And I, of course, said, please, can you talk to me about it? And she said, no, she refused to talk to me about it. My husband was in with me, he's a journalist. She wouldn't talk to us. So that's 2 doctors.
This consultant, the highest ranking doctor, said that her mother had gone blind as a consequence of the... The common theme here is healthcare professionals, those who are best qualified to offer an opinion, up to and including consultants, who are not only not reading from the script, they're reading from the opposite script. And take-up among the general public seems to be even lower. Staggering 96% of NHS appointments for mRNA top-up jabs still available with just days of latest vaccination campaign to go. The public have been urged to get their top-up jab because Pfizer chiefs need new Ferraris. Okay, maybe that sub-headline originally said that, but I think the other is more honest. Prompting this from somewhere who is not an impartial healthcare professional.
The programme, the autumn programme, which includes the ability for everybody to come forward, is coming to an end on the 12th of February, and I'd encourage anybody who's not taken up the offer to do so before then.
But on the basis of this from healthcare professionals and an even worse vote of confidence from the general public, it seems that that message will fall on deaf ears. And it's remarkable that they try to vilify those who are the best qualified to comment as spreaders of misinformation, and that those people are so extraordinarily reluctant to take their medicine. It does not exactly fill you with optimism.